Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to share with you another easy recipe and a cool trick that you can do with leftover pulp after juicing.
Let's get started.
I have a lot of vegetables and some fruit that I use for this batch. There's celery, carrots, we have a little bit of ginger, beets, pears, apples, zucchini, squash, cucumbers. This is the pulp that I have left over here. Instead of throwing it away, we're going to have such a beautiful, rich soup.
Leftover vegetables right now that it would be a shame if I had to throw this whole thing away.
First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump all this pulp into our pot with hot water. I also had a couple of artichokes and they're full antioxidants plus onions that I had left over. We're going to put everything into a hot water. I'm going to try not to splash anybody here. I'm not very good at this. And we're going to boil it for about 15 minutes. So we don't need to do a half an hour or anything like that because it's a pulp. It's already shredded vegetables. So it's going to extract all the nutrients very, very fast. Now I'm going to add some salt. It can be sea salt. I also use pink Himalayan salt most of the time. And cover it with the lid. Let it simmer for about 10-15 minutes. So while our stock is boiling, we're going to saute some onions. And I usually use avocado oil or MCT oil. You can use any kind of oil, such as olive oil or coconut oil, whatever your diet suggests. I use this recipe for my HCG diet, so therefore I used to cook my onions with a tablespoon of MCT oil. It worked wonderfully. All you have to do is substitute some vegetables or use vegetables that are on the list.
Look at that. This whole thing would have been in the garbage, but instead we're gonna have such a beautiful rich soup. I constantly flip them over so they're not gonna fry more on one side than the other side. I also prepared ahead of time some kale that I had left over. Our family shared some organic squash with us, and this is so delicious because squash absorbs any flavor that you have in the dish, and so it's basically neutral flavor, but it adds that crunchiness, it adds nutrients and vitamins to your any dish. Then I have some mustard greens that I bought at Asian store, Oriental market that we have locally here, and their greens are always so fresh. So I had those left over, and in fact, while we're waiting, I'm going to chop them up a little bit because I like them whole as it is, but if children are eating, it's kind of too much for them to chew on. So we're gonna cut them in about 1 inch or 2 wide. So that will be good. I'm also going to use up some Napa cabbage that I had in my fridge, and this is so delicious. I put all these vegetables at the very end, including frozen cilantro that I have. You can add parsley, you can add Thai basil, you can add any herbs or frozen vegetables that you might have inside the freezer. So I'm also going to add a little bit of dried seaweed just to add that, give it that miso soup taste. This is dashi that we're going to use once we strain all the pulp out of the stock. And at the very end, I'm using any kind of soybean paste that I might have in the fridge. 3 cloves of garlic that we're going to add there too. This I have for toppings, and you can add any toppings that you like. We're going to add green onions and shrimp instead of tofu. And these shrimps were grilled before and I store them in the refrigerator, so that when children want to add them for their burritos or any other dish or to take along, they can do that. So we usually use them for topping inside the soup, and also some jalapenos. Ooh. Be careful not to splash yourself or others, because there's a lot of pulp. Oh, I can smell ginger
And I also have zucchini in there. You see we have beautiful clear bouillon or stock. So I brought the stock back to boil. Now we're going to add about a tablespoon of hondashi. You can make your own, just add some fish or dried fish or whatever you like. Some people don't like fish, so you can skip that step, but that just makes, that part makes your miso authentic. I'm going to add dried seaweed now. Our sauteed onions go in here. We're going to give it a boil for a couple of minutes. And now we're ready to add all these vegetables. I'm going to start with the roughest ones, which is napa cabbage. And it cooks super fast. You only need 2 minutes and I'll be done. And then I'm going to add greens, mustard greens in my case, and kale. Kale cooks super fast. You don't want to overcook it because it's not going to taste good, it's going to be mushy, and we want it to stay crunchy. So there it goes. Seaweed cooks very, very fast. In fact, when you turn it off, it still continues cooking, so don't worry about not cooking it through enough. I'm going to add some garlic now. We have 3 cloves. There we go. Oh, it smells so delicious already. Nothing tastes better than soup on a cold winter day. So now that all vegetables are in, I'm going to use my strainer and I'm going to incorporate all this soybean paste, miso paste, whatever you want to call it. It's fermented soybeans. So, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of hot water. At the same time, I'm going to turn off the heat. Just gonna let it sit here. This should be totally fine. This should be enough. Because you don't want to kill all the nutrients and fermented stuff in it with heat. You can do it in a separate dish. Just scoop out some stock in a separate dish and mix it and then add it back into the pot. I choose not to wash extra dishes. I'm too lazy. If I can cheat on the kitchen, I'll do that. So, and be careful not to add too much salt or soy sauce because miso itself is already salty. Instead of adding salt, some people just add more miso, and that's also fine. It'll give it that rich taste. And I'm going to add a splash of soy sauce, or you can use tamari sauce if you're on a diet. You don't want to use any carbs or gluten. So we're going to add some soy sauce. And there goes our cilantro. Cilantro is really good in soup if you're going to use jalapeno or anything spicy. So we're going to give it a really good stir. And our soup is ready. Yum, look at that. So colorful. Oh, I forgot to add carrots, but that would have been a little too much probably because we have carrots here that came from Dubai. We're going to add some grilled shrimp on top. We're going to add some green onions and a few slices of jalapeno. You're welcome to add any other sauce that you like, such as sriracha sauce, hoisin sauce, garlic hoisin sauce works really good with this. And it's ready to go. Bon appetit!
And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I also hope that next time you'll put your pulp to good use also. Bye!